Welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to look at loops. What are loops in Java? A loop is like doing a repetitive task until a specific condition is met. So if you have a task and you want to execute it until a certain condition is met, you can use a loop. So an example I can give in our day-to-day life. Let me say you want to drink water, but you want to drink water until you are not thirsty or until the thirst is gone. So you drink water until you are no longer thirsty. So in the programming world, you can use a loop. So until you are not thirsty, you can stop drinking water. But before that condition is met, you will drink water more and more. So we have multiple loops that we can use in Java. We have what we call the for. We have what we call the for loop. We have what we call the while loop. We have what we call the do while loop. We have what we call the advanced loop and other loops. So in the coming episodes, I'll be dealing with one by one uh, to see how it works, to see how you can execute them in your programming world. So, but in this video, I'm going to mainly focus on the while loop. So you can come here down, say while. So what will this do? Open brackets. Here, in between here, uh, you can use a while keyword. So in between here, you pass the condition. So I can say true. So what will this do? While I'm doing this, you do this until this condition is made false. So the moment a false boolean appears here, this condition will stop. But before that, if this remains true, meaning anything that you put here in between will execute multiple times. Let me give you an example before the while loop. So give some space here. Let me say you want to print out high multiple times. Let me say you want to print out high like 5 times. System out high. Let me say you want to print out high like 5 times. In the normal way, you can come and duplicate this 5 times, and you compile this, run. This will automatically work as you intended. But what if you don't want to do this? But what if you want to use a loop to help you do this? So what you will do is like, it's so simple. You come here, you use while this is going on, do this. While this is true, do this. So in between here, we shall pass a condition. But remember, this condition has to, the only time it will stop, sorry, we have to pass a condition. But remember, in the condition here, it has to be a boolean, either true or false. So the moment the condition here in between is true, anything that you put here, it will run and it won't stop. The only time the thing you put here in between, the arguments you pass here in between will stop is when the condition here is false. So until this condition is met, this statement here will run. Say, let me say I want to print out high, and I put here like, so this is what I'm meaning. When you compile this, you will see that high, this one, is being printed multiple times. Remember, multiple times. This won't stop, and you have to be careful. This can even crash your machine. So let me stop this. Yeah, this will run until a condition here is met. So if you have like false here, in this case, if you have like false, let me compile this and you see. A moment. If you have like false, condition here is false, you see that it won't even accept because false has to be calculated automatically. So let me say I want to print out high 5 times. So I'll come here, I do a variable here, I is equal to, let me say like 1. 1. So when you see that I'm using a variable called I. So why do we use I while dealing with loops? You can use other variables, but while dealing with loops, we prefer using I because I is like an iterator, because this I is going to be adjusted in multiple ways. We are going to be changing this value in multiple ways or in multiple times. So this I at times it is referred to as an iterator. That's why we prefer using I than other variables. So this I want to increase the I by 1. I I want to increase I by 1. Remember, this my I, first of all, is a variable and I'm setting it to 1, but I want to increase it by 1. But remember, I'm putting it in a while loop, meaning this will execute, but it will execute by adding 1 on this variable. So let me, I can come here, can use a plus operator to add. So let me, I can print out I, and you see what is going to happen. This I is going to be, remember, if you are not familiar with the I++, you go to my previous videos. I explained how this works. So this simply means you are going to increment I by only 1. You can see here I have printed out I. Let me compare this. You will see that I is being added 1, only 1. So this will won't stop until, remember, this condition is true, meaning this will execute until it won't stop. So I can first stop this in a moment. So you can see that we have successfully managed to increase I by 1. But what if I want to stop somewhere? So in this case, I don't want, like the way you have seen, I have been printing out without stopping. I have managed to add 1 on this variable, but it is not stopping. So the only thing I can do, I can come here inside my while loop. I can put a condition. While this is true, I can say like you stop if this is incrementing, you can stop on, let me say you can stop on 5. So print out 5, but don't go more than 5 times. So you come here, say I is less than or equal to 5, uh, stop there. So this will execute 5 times. Why? Because we are going to increment one number on I, but until this condition is met. But remember, here I've said it has to be less than 5. I has to be less than 5. So after incrementing 1 on this I and it reaches 5, this condition will automatically make it false. Let us run this and you see. You see that we have successfully managed to print out I 5 times. This is done simply by the use of a condition here. So if I is less than, you print I, you go on printing I, add 1 on I, add 1 on I, but if the moment it reaches 5, you stop there. So it has to, every time it is running or every time it is iterating, it will check this condition. If this condition is met right, this has to automatically stop. So that's how you can deal with a while loop. I can give you another example. So I can say int. Let me say I have like a basket of apples. I want to add apples until this basket is full. Let me say my basket can hold like 10 apples. Uh, how will I do that using a while loop? So I'll say apple. Remember, my apple is going to. We are going to start at one. We are going to start at 0. My basket int basket basket. My basket capacity. My basket capacity can hold. Let me say like 10. My basket capacity can hold 10 apples. So I can use a while loop. While, remember here in between we pass in the condition. So while, I'll explain this in a minute. So what is going to happen here? Here, my apple, this apple here, I want to add 1 by 1. So I'll say plus plus. You get it? I'll be adding one apple at a time in this basket. So here in my condition, if apple, remember, if apple is less than the basket capacity, here, what will happen? So here I'll come and added apples in my basket. added apples in my basket. I'll do something like this, added apples in my basket. So it is not here. This has no E. Basket. Basket. This has no. Sorry for the spelling. So what would this mean? First of all, I have said you begin with no apples in this case, but in your while loop, you are going to be adding one apple at a time. But remember, your basket only holds 10 apples. So, and remember, this is going to be changing. Your apple is going to be changing by one. It's going to be increasing by one. It's going to be increasing by one. But if it reaches the limit, in this case, which is 10, it has to stop. So let us compile this and we see. Compile. You will see that we have managed to add some apples in our basket. We use here a nice variable added 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 an apple into the basket. In this case, I can say print out our apple variable. So I just wanted to change to print out something that is more readable. So we see that this is going to run. This is going to be increasing. Can add here some space. Can add here some space. Then can compare this again. Compile. You see that we are going to be adding. This will run. This will be increasing by one, by one, by one, by one. But until this condition is met, right, this will execute multiple times. But if this condition reaches and it is false, this will automatically stop. Remember here my apple is 0, but I'm going to increase this by 1. But the moment it reaches like 10, it has to stop, because here I'm saying in my condition here, the one that I passed in my while loop, I'm saying if apple is less than the basket capacity, you should stop executing this. But before this is less, it has to execute. That's why it is executing 1. It is adding 1, adding 2, 3, 4, until we meet the 10, the capacity, in this case, which is 10, it will stop from there. So that's how you can use a while loop. So in this case, let me come here and say, after printing out this, I can say my basket is full. But this, before this, I can print out apple. But you see where I have printed out apple, my apple variable, outside the while loop. So what will be printed in this case? Take a moment and you think, what will be printed out in this case? So compile this, then run. You will see that after each and everything has successful, uh, after everything has been successful in our while loop, our variable in this case has turned to be out 10. Why? Because 10, we have been increasing apple by 1 until this condition was met. So, meaning this apple, the moment it reaches down, it has already reached on the 10th variable. That's why you can see that the 10 is the one being printed out in this case. So that's how you can use the while loop. So in the coming videos, we are going to look at more on what you can do. So that's it for today. That's how you can use the while loop. Simply, the while loop takes in a condition in this case, but this condition will run. It won't stop until it is false. Meaning here, if you have your condition, you have to first check where it is going to stop. If it doesn't stop, it will run, and that will be chaos for you. But in this case, modifying this variable by adding 1, this 1 is going to be checked by this condition. This variable is going to be checked by this condition. If it reaches like 10, this condition will automatically be false, meaning this will stop executing, but it will execute multiple times. Each and every time this iteration is running, this is going to be executing, meaning it will execute from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until this condition is met right. Yeah, so that's how you can deal with the while loops. So in the coming videos, we are going to look at the for loops and more loops. That's it for today. Thank you.